Everyone, I'm sorry I have to walk away. I noticed I didn't have enough light. There, I'm back. Okay, I'm gonna be talking a little bit about the book tonight, and I'm gonna be talking about some of my characters, but my main character, excuse me, I'm not feeling good. I'm still doing it anyway. I don't care. The book is important for me, and I just want to do it. Okay, so tonight we'll be talking about this young woman on a book. Whoops, not him, her. Her name is Anahi. For those of you who have a hard time to pronounce it, she's pronounced Anahi. So I welcome you to ask any question anytime you want to. Through the book, we'll see her evolve. When she is found, she's going to be 22 years old when she's found. And the more times will go by, she will evolve into a very, very pretty young woman. And this is what she actually looks like in the book when she's found. So, just want to tell you a little bit about her. So, when Anahi was found, her village was burnt and people were killed. They burnt the village down to the ground and left her with nothing. So, she's a young woman that has suffered a lot. She saw her parents being killed in front of her eyes, and she's been left with nothing. She was imprisoned on an English ship where she's being taken to a town where they're planning on prosecuting her for crimes she never did. She's being accused of crimes her father did, actually. And as time go by, she will be found. She will unwittingly be saved. And the man who will actually save her, it's him. So, what I'd like to say tonight is talk a little bit about her. First of all, she's 22 years old in the book when she's found. She's 22 years old and she's a little bit innocent and naive. Back in those days, the story is somewhere around the 18th century. And back in those days, women had no voice. It didn't matter what they said, what they wanted, it didn't count. They did have some parents that were pretty good to their daughters, and marriage were usually they were selling their daughter. That's how you see it. They were not actually marrying her off like people think they were doing. They were actually selling her. The way it worked is women were um, they were merchandise. They were not considered as human. They were merchandise. And even for the family, they were merchandise. When these women first started in those centuries, none of them could own land, none of them could own property, none of them could own a store or anything without the father's signature, without the mother's signature. And Anahi is not an exception to the rule. After her parents dies, her father owns a business, but she's not entitled to get it because she needs the way it used to work. They needed the father's signature or the husband's signature. Where she's not married, she's only 22 years old and she can't really own anything. She is the sole heir of her father's business. She's the sole heir of his fortune, but she's not entitled to anything unless she gets married within the next 12 months after the death of them. And if she doesn't get married and the husband doesn't sign for her to get all this, she's not entitled to anything. And if she's married and the husband dies, she's not entitled to anything either. It doesn't matter who they are, none of them are entitled to anything unless they actually get married. And if they are married, the husband doesn't want them to own anything, they can't. Women were considered reproduction tools. They were living in the house and technically operating a business inside the house, but while they were operating the business, they were how could I explain that? They were considered a reproduction tool and they were like holding the maids and the servant together. They were the one giving orders and telling the maid, well, today we're going to have a party and you need to do this and that and this and that. When The woman was around 16. They were starting to consider marrying her. And to marry her, they needed to have uh, a good um, a good man that could take care of their daughter. They always made sure the man was good, no matter what. Like, but yeah, they were running the household. So yeah, so they were at 16. They were already merchandise. So how they were working this out? They would take a bunch of men. It's the parents, not her, that's doing this. The parents are going around the village considering the wealthiest family in their grade. If they're medium class, they have to go with medium class. They can't go anything higher unless there's the man higher that's interested in their daughter. Other than that, they can't. That's how the rules were back then. And then they would go around the village and consider some families that were potentially good for their daughters and eventually would marry them starting at 16, and they would become mothers often way before 16, way before 18. So they would marry them off, but the man had to come with a dot, they called, and that's a trunk of money, gold coin, jewelry, anything, riches. They had to come. So this was a contract, and once they signed the contract, it was agreed that she would not be with nobody else until she's old enough to be with him, and then they would start courting. Most of the time, she would be sent to her future husband's house where she would be raised with them from age 13 usually, and she would be raised with them where she would learn their customs. She would learn how the family run things, how they do things, and she would be courted by him. Sometimes the man was happy and wanted her, and sometimes he was not happy and wanted nothing to do with her. So it was not always going well, and some of them were being mistreated after the marriage. Some men were really rough. They were taken like whores, technically. I'm sorry for the words. But the way they were taking them was awful. It was not making love to a woman, it was really rough and rude. And it was nothing interesting for any one of us that would want to live in that century. Just know that you were merchandise. You were not someone that can live freely like we do today. Now, if I come back to my main character, Anahi in this book will be found on a ship after her village is being put to sack and burnt down to the ground. And once she's found on a ship, she will be suffering. Like she'll be suffering of the loss of her parent, the loss of her friends, the loss of her village, really, the loss of everybody she knew, her grandparents, her aunt and uncle, everybody that she knows lived in that village. And she will find out that the man she considered her father, she knew nothing about him. I'm not going to tell you what's going on in the book. For those of you who haven't seen the book, I don't want you to know what's going on. I'm just going to go briefly about what's happening with her. She is brought on a ship where she's going to be, she was in a cage on the English ship where men were roaming around her and trying to get under her skirt. Like, and then she lands on a pirate ship where she's out of that cage, but she's into a golden prison. She's trapped into the captain's quarter and can't get out of it. Doesn't matter what she does, she's unable to get out of it. Why? Simple. Back then, there was a superstition that women didn't belong on ship. And if women were on ship, it was considered very bad for them. It could go as bad as a mutiny, where the crew would turn against the captain and would take the ship. Most of the time, if a woman was found on a ship, she was being raped, she was beat up. And let me tell you that if a man holds 40 men, if a man, sorry, if a captain has 40 men working for him on the ship and there's a mutiny, uh, it's bad for her. It's not going to go very well. And 40 men raping you, it's not something you would want to live, trust me. Um, most of the time, they would die before it was over, and the man would keep going, even though she was dead. They didn't know. They thought she was just passed out sometime, and they just kept going. There is a lot of cruelty and a lot of bad things that were done to women, unfortunately. And this is just a story that I'm basing myself on true history to write the story. And the poor woman will live in that golden cage for almost 2 months before they reach land. Once she reach land, she thinks she's free, but she's still not free. She's going to land on a ground that she doesn't know. She does not know this village. She can't return back to hers because it's burnt down to the ground. Plus the soldier who tried to kill her, if some of them survive and decide to go back there, they will find her. They were looking for her father and they found him and killed him. So they will eventually find her, I'm sorry. And once they find her, they might end up killing her. So it's a no-no. She can't go back there, even if she wants to. So she's going to end up living in a village she does not know, where she will make the acquaintance of a lot of people she loves. She will, first of all, read on a ship, um, is a little mean to her, but at the same time, kind. Millard is the sweetest, kindest man, although being very rough and showing authority. He is a pirate after all, but he will be very good to her. He likes her a lot. He sees something good into her. And just because of that, he will be trying to help her. When the captain will get sick after a storm, he will almost die. She will remember what her mother used to do to save people back then. In the 18th centuries, when you're trapped on a ship without medicine, what used to happen? They used to die. None of them, most of them wouldn't even survive to a tooth infection. They would die from it. So she's going to have to figure out a way of saving this man. And I'm going to tell you something. I had to research because I had no clue what medication could have been used back then to save somebody that had fever. And with the research, I found out that even at this time, and can also be used today, if you have a fever, you can crush three pods, I'm sorry, 3 pods of garlic, and you crush them really like a paste, and then you put them into a cup of boiling water, stir it, and wait a little bit, and then drink it. It apparently doesn't taste really good and doesn't smell really good, but it's really, really good to cure you. It will help the fever go down. It might take some time, but it will help the fever go down and can actually save your life. Because if you have too much fever, you may end up dying because fever is very dangerous. And they didn't really have a way of measuring fever back then, other than putting their hand on the forehead, the sweat that was coming out of the body. Uh, the more sweat there was, the more they were evaluating that it was getting crucial. And this is pretty much how she's going to do her stuff, trying to save this man. At some point, she will give him the garlic juice. He's in some sort of a coma. He's not really in a coma, but he's some sort of a coma. He's high fever, not waking up. And it's been 3 days now and still not waking up. So she will make him drink this juice with Miller's help. And together they will manage to get the formula down his throat. When the poor man wakes up, garlic doesn't really smell good. You're going to end up with a bad breath for a couple weeks. So when the poor man wakes up, the first thing he's going to say, why in the world does my breath stink so much? And what is this awful taste in my mouth? No, no, no. Talking about taste, I'm going to take a sip of water from that large cup. Excuse me. I get dry when I talk. So after she will make him drink this juice and he will wake up, he's going to question what the heck is that crap in his mouth. And eventually they will tell him that it's garlic juice and he will understand why he stinks so much. But they will find it hilarious when he says, why does my mouth taste so bad? Why do I smell so bad? So it will be hilarious for them. Later on through the book, she will meet Shannon. Shannon will help her a little bit with her personal life, get back on track. Women were not allowed to work back then, but without a family, sometimes they had no choice. They had no other choice but working, and most of the time would turn into a harlot. And harlot would be what they consider a whore, or there's many other terms for it. I don't remember them all off the top of my head. Feel free to write them if you know. But yeah, they were pretty much the only work they could do, and they were not very respected by men. But sometimes, if they had a general store or a tavern that would take them, they would work in a tavern or a whorehouse, a bortel, they used to call it. And if they wouldn't work into a bortel or a tavern as a harlot, I'm not sure how to pronounce the word, but if they wouldn't work in there as these type of women selling their body, they would end up being like a waitress or something like that. There was never much money to be made, and men were hands all over you. It was hard, but yeah, they were trying to survive that way. The tips they were getting once the men were drunk was what was technically making them survive. Um, that's where the tip actually started. The men's were drunk, they were just paying them for touching them and stuff like that, and they would make a little bit of money like that. Not necessarily sleeping with them. A waitress doesn't sleep, but she would let them touch her, and for touching her, she would get a gold coin or something like that. So this is pretty much how she used to survive. Um, Anahi will later on, this is my first book, by the way, and Anahi will later on evolve. And as she evolves, she will become almost like the doctor of the town. This town is a pirate town, and she will become technically the healer, the one that takes care of everybody. Somebody gets hurt, she takes care of it. Somebody gets cut, she takes care of it. Somebody gets shot, again, it's her. It's always her. And slowly, the people will start to know her. They will start to learn her talent, and they will go to her automatically. And her life from there will evolve. She'll slowly become the nurse, the doctor, the caregiver, the attendant of the people that needs her attention, plus working. So by the end of this book, she has evolved quite a bit. She has done some surgeries on some people that needed it, and she will also meet another woman that will be called, some people like her, Jackie, my beautiful blonde Jackie. She's a very evil woman, and she will cause Anahi a lot of trouble. Anahi later on in the second book will become more advanced in medical technology. In the third book, she will have a tool. I'm not telling you, this is going to be a surprise. She will have a tool that will be given to her, and it will be a surprise for her too. And there will be at least three surprise between now and the end of the third book. So I just don't want to tell you. I could, but I don't want to. There's going to be somebody that will be visiting her, and there's going to be a lot of change. The book will be ending with a surprise visitor. This is the third book. And the surprise visitor is somebody very important, does not look important. And she will be, that visitor will be seeking help and will be seeking protection, which Anahi can't really protect anybody, but she can call Red and Millard to help. So with those people's help, she will be able to protect the surprise visitor. There will also be another surprise visitor at the end of book four, but this one will be evil and it won't be nice. And this is pretty much what I have to say for Anaïs. She's growing. Eventually, she will maybe get married, maybe have children. Who knows? I don't know exactly where I'm going with the story so far with her, but this is pretty much what my plans are. I'm gonna have surprise visitors for her. They're not there for other people, they're there for her. Also, I will have Red. By the time, let me turn this so the light, there we go. Red, by the time we hit book three, so far in book two, we do not know anything about him. But by the time we hit book three, Red is going to be mentioned a lot, and we're going to be hearing a little bit more about his past, about what's happened to him. I'm going through the book. I'm trying to see if I can find a picture while I'm talking. So there's a lot of picture in this book. So this is my beautiful Anahi. The camera is not giving it grace, trust me. She is very beautiful. And she will be evolving quite a bit. Anyway, eventually, who knows? What would you like me to do with her? Maybe I will make her do something else. I don't know. But it's up to you. It's up to me. It's up to, I'm willing to try anything. If you have suggestion, you just send it to me and I'll see what I can do with it. But right now, up to book 3, I've already got plans for her. This is my evil Jackie. This way. The camera is like a mirror for me, so it's reversed. I'm not very good at this. Um, yeah, so now I'd like to talk a little bit about Red. Red is a captain. Um, his background wasn't talked about a little bit, but I will tell you a little bit about it right now if you don't mind. Red is going to be on the ship when she's found, and when they bring her to him, he will say, she will thank him for saving her, and she will answer him, who's she will say, "Thank you for saving me." And he will say, "Who says you're saved? I'm still thinking what to do with you." A chill will run down her spine because she still doesn't know what's going to happen to her until he gives the order to Cruel. That's the name of one of his cool. Uh, um, I can't, I'm just searching for the word. I'm sorry. Anyway, this guy will be ordered to bring her to the plank and make her walk the plank. And she will be scared, but she will say something that will trigger. For the one who already read the book, you already know this part. But she will say something that will trigger him, and he will order everyone out of my office now. And everybody will freeze. Unused to um, having a reaction like that from him, they won't know really how to react. Excuse me again. So she will be frozen on the ground. She will step back after hearing his growl. And the other guys will be like, "What are we doing? Where are we going?" And he will say, "Are you deaf or something?" Like, not really in these words. I'm using my own word. But he will say something like, "Why are you still here? Get out of here now before I handle you myself." So they will rush to get out, but as they rush to get out, they will literally trip over their own feet and fall all over the place and might eventually make it out, which makes it very, very funny. Um, Red shows a lot of authority. And these two characters, just so people know, there a lot of people don't know this, but Anahi was generated as per my own photo when I was when I was 24 years old. Sorry, itchy throat. I couldn't find any pictures of her of God, any pictures of me when I was 22. Hmm. So I used a picture of me when I was 24 and generated her. As for Red, he was generated as per a photo of Andy when he was 40 years old. So eventually, maybe I could put these photos in there so you people can compare it. My throat is itchy. Pardon me. Yeah, so I don't want my photos in a book. This story is not about me. It's about these people. It's about Jackie. It's about Red. It's about Anahi. It's not about me. I've been told I should put my photo on the spine or I should put my photo somewhere in the back by the blurb. I refuse. Some people are telling me where it says about author to put your photo in there. Again, I refuse. I do not want my photo in the book. I refuse to have it in there because it's not about me. It's about the story. I'm talking about the story. I'm not talking about myself. I want the story to be known. I want people to read the story because the story to me is really, really good, very captivating, and you won't be able to put this book down. Once you start reading, you'll have a hard time to put it down. It's some people say cinematic, some people say they feel like they're living inside the story. I'd like to read you a little bit of the story, but I'm not a very good reader. Um, Maybe next time I'll try to find a passage that I like, and I like it all. It's hard for me to find a specific area, but I'll try to find a passage that I really like, and I will have to practice it a little bit so I can read it properly because I have an eye problem and I need prism and my glasses to keep my eyes straight. And sometimes when I read, it's like I have two pages, so it's hard for me to read. So how can I write is beyond me. I don't know. I just capable of doing it, I guess. But as for reading, it's getting harder and harder for me. I still haven't found a picture of him, by the way. This is that one. This is her at the store while she's serving a customer working at the store. I do have several photos of her in there. So I think this is pretty much what I have to say about her and him for tonight. Red was initially a soldier and he became a pirate. And there's a reason he became a pirate. And the reason he became a pirate is because of her father. And you'll have to wait to find out more because I can't tell you more. I haven't developed the plot yet. But I did explore this at some point in the book. And the reason Red became a pirate is because of her father. And he was um, fearing her father because her father was cruel. But there's one thing they made sure that they were not disrespectful to women because both of them, both men were soldiers before, and they do believe in respect for women. So these characters are pretty amazing. And some of you don't know this yet, but I call him my Robin Hood of the sea. Why do I call him like that? Red is not an ordinary pirate. He's the type of pirate that will go and they will attack another ship and they will lot it. Once they lot the ship, they will bring the treasure to their village. The gold they find, the money, all that, the food is kept for them on the ship. The gold they find is kept to keep them going so they can fight, they can survive and stuff like that, and probably hide some somewhere, which I will come up with eventually. Also, when they find, say they attack a royal ship, like it happened in this book, they did attack a royal guard ship. When they find trunks of royal dresses, royal man attire, and all that, they will bring it back to the village, but they don't keep it. They either bring it to the tailor or the mantua maker, and they will give those dresses to the mantua maker for her to sell, and they split the profit with her. She makes money off of those beautiful royal dresses that are usually ornate with diamond and jewels because any royal dress must be very precious and they have a lot of fancy stuff on it. And when they sell the dress, they share the profit with him. You also have a trait with Richie. Richie is my tavern holder. So Richie is quiet. We don't hear about him. He's a good man. We don't hear about him. But Richie's got secret passes. And he's got he has several issues in the past that he's not talking about yet. He will eventually. He will. Richie refused to get married, and there's a reason for that, which I will talk about later on. But Richie has a secret lover. I just gave a hint. I'm not telling you. You'll have to read the book. Richie has a secret lover. I'm not telling you who. And she is a widow, would like to get married again, but he refuses. There's a reason why he refused, and eventually he will explain that reason why. But in the meantime, he holds the tavern that used to belong to his parents, and manage it very well. The harlot don't belong to him. Every time Red finds a poor girl that has nowhere to go, no place to go, he doesn't know what to do with them. He doesn't believe in abusing women and doesn't believe in selling women for slave. So he will bring them to the tavern where he will locate them, and it's up to them to find out what to do with their life. If they can't find out what to do with their life to survive, they will either die or they will survive. Some of them has already died. Some young woman that Red has saved, he brought to the village and put them into the tavern. But lovely Jackie has caused a lot of trouble for some of them, and some have disappeared, some have died. We don't know what's happened to them. We'll find out what's happened to them. And this is all happening in book 2 and some in book 3. So, on that note, I would like to thank you for watching. And I invite you to go see my book on Amazon. It's called For the Loving of a Pirate. You can also, this way. So, you can also, this week, the promotion is on the ebook. The ebook is now at a discount. I didn't set the discount, Amazon set the discount on their own. So, if you know anyone who loves reading ebook, it's the time to share with them the link for the ebook and let them enjoy it. They can grab it at a very good deal. Also, I'm setting a promotion for Easter where I am giving the ebook for free during the Easter weekend. I have no clue when it will start. I set it up for the Easter weekend. That's all I can tell you. So the ebook will be free from the beginning of Easter till the end of Easter. What date? Friday till Monday, but it could be Friday midnight, it could be Friday morning, it could be Monday midnight, it could be Sunday midnight. I don't know. Amazon will set the time themselves. I just chose the weekend and they will give the book for free. So if you are interested in ordering this book, you can order it on Amazon worldwide. Doesn't matter which country you are in. And if you don't have an account and you are in New Brunswick or anywhere in Canada or US, I can actually order this book for you and I can ship it to you. The only thing you'll have to pay shipping. I do deliver between Campbellton and Moncton. This is the area where I live, and I have no problem delivering for free for those area. It's a big area. We're talking about almost 600 kilometers round trip. So I do travel to Moncton for a friend that is sick and for myself as well. I'm gonna hide myself. There you go. For the loving of a pirate. So actually the book looks more like this. This is a French one. So the book looks more like this. It's got a medallion on. So this is the old version and I have to make a draw for it. So thank you all for watching. I was happy to see you there. Nice to see that I had Leah and Lana with me tonight, and I saw another person came in and leave a few times. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it and be with me for the next one. Thank you and have a nice evening. Bye, all.